Wild and crazy. Wild and crazy.
Hey, you guys mind if I ask you a question?
Yes.
You ever heard of a band called the Salads?
Salads. Can't say that we have.
Oh yeah?
Last time I heard it, they got tossed.
Nice, yeah, high five on that one.
Hello, my name is Grant Taylor. I started playing the drums when I was 12 years old. It was a shock! 5-piece drum kit with 2 cymbals, a crash cymbal and a ride cymbal. And that's when I got started.
Started probably, I guess, in '87. You know, like every typical kid, I like wanted to play guitar, you know, and Mom, I want a guitar! And that's how I did it. I cried, you know, everything I wanted, I bawled my eyes out. I want a dirt bike! No! So I got a dirt bike. Then I heard some Who records and stuff. Then I wanted to play guitar really bad. And I'm like, Mom, I want an electric guitar! Blah! It's like, no, it'll be in your it'll be in your closet with your karate outfit and your baseball uniform, your dirt bike, and your football, and all the other bullshit, right? So, you know, you're the typical kid with all the closet full of stuff that you failed at. So anyways, I get my guitar, and Mom, Dad, I'm sorry. I said the guitar was a piece of shit. Give me another one. Well, this second guitar, we went to the guitar shop, bought my guitar, got it home. I was so excited. I was like literally shitting my pants, like, and then, you know, and then from that day on, it was like an addiction. If I played guitar, I played it for like, you know, 20 hours a day, and I played Bad to the Bone for about 2 years straight. I got a big cock, as hard as a rock, so long, so firm, full of sperm. No shit, that's the lyrics from then.
I met, first guy I saw was Chuck. He,
You know what? Grant started the band.
I remember I started in a new school, and I was sitting there, I was going into grade 8 at the time, and all these kids got off the bus, and one of the first guys I saw was this little guy with like this really preppy haircut, a white scarf, and a trench coat. And I was like, what a fag. No, take that out. I said, what a dork.
What a swell guy.
No, but it was Chuck. Chuck came from a private school. Everybody that got off the bus was like into Depeche Mode and The Cure and stuff that, like, I like The Cure now. I still don't like Depeche Mode. But anyway, I'm sitting there in like a jean jacket with Kiss and AC/DC patches on and stuff like that. Mini mullet. I was one of those guys that walked around like this. It wasn't too different than what I have right now. It'd be like flick, flick, flick. You'll see that later on, unfortunately. So anyway, I didn't even talk to him. The first guy I talked to was Dave. Dave was sitting there, he had a spiky hair, a lumber jacket on, and tight jeans with like high cuts. And he had a little ghetto blaster playing Master of Puppets by Metallica. I walked up and I said, hey man, I play drums. And Dave said, I'm getting a guitar for Christmas. I said, we should jam.
Like, dude, I play with myself, man. You want to rock together?
And then I was in the bathroom, and this guy approached me. His name was Marky Satalo, and he said, this is true. And he said, he goes, hey, I hear you're a drummer. You gotta listen to this. My friend Chuck Daly play guitar. He plays guitar, but he was in grade 7. I was in grade 8, so I was like, I'm not talking to that guy. But then, about halfway through the school year, Romper Room intervened. They ended up putting me back from grade 8, halfway through after I'd made all the friends, met all the chicks. Then they decided, they had a meeting in the office, and they said, we've got to put you back a year. So I went back into grade 7, halfway through a year at a brand new school. After that, I got to know Chuck much better. Dave went away, which was nice. And mind you, he had... Anyway, that's all I got. That's how I met the guys. And other than that, the rest is history.
I guess it started back in '87. We met in public school, and I mean, it was good because it kept us out of a lot of trouble. We basically just, instead of like out, you know, graffitiing and causing shit and drinking and smoking, we just basically like bought a case of Coca-Cola every weekend and went to Grant's basement and just jammed.
The band was started in the Kettleby washroom.
Kilby Public School washroom. But, you know, we spent most of our time rehearsing at Dave's house on the farm and in Grant's basement. In Grant's basement. Eating cold cuts and chips, and that's how we learned how to play.
When we started playing, I was 14. Lynx. I came up with the name, and I also did the logo. I wish.
Vowels. That's why it was cool.
Well, it had a X and a Y in it. L. What?
Why?
Y and X. Lynx.
Why is the mystery bell?
We were just little kids with big guitars. Dave had really spiky hair and pointy shoes and a big purple BC Rich Warlock.
We played the gymnasium at Kettleby Public School.
We're the band, man.
And we played Wipeout and we played The Cult.
Yeah, wait, no, I think I remember. What? No, ready? Wait. Go back. You ready? You might see this bill.
And then when we played at the Schaumburg Fair for 2 years, 1 year we all wore jams and our David Lee Roth shirts from the night before.
Ladies and gentlemen, the future group, Lynx. That's a big hand for them.
Well, after Lynx, we got serious, and we started a band called Speechless because none of us could sing. And we did some cover tunes. We wrote a few of our own songs. Night Hunter was one of them.
Axes and Cannons.
Axes and Cannons was the first song that we ever wrote. We picked up a bass player named Dave Sommerfeld. He was really good, and then he turned out to be the nicest guy in the world. And then he just got kind of hot.
Second year, Davey Sommerfeld was in the band playing bass. And we all decided that it would be really cool if we all wore hats.
We wrote this song back in grade 7 when we went to Kettleby Public School, and it's couldn't think of a name for it, so we just called it the song.
Which other band?
There's another band that you and Chuck were with?
Pearl Necklace?
Yeah.
We were in high school, and the bass player that we were playing with at the time, we put the band together, and it was fun, and we got all excited because he had played Rock and Roll Heaven and Gasworks and all the big bars. So we put together this band, wrote a couple really terrible songs in about maybe a month, and then had a gig.
We are here to talk about sex!
But the problem was we didn't have a singer, and I don't even want to go into this, man, because you're not allowed to show it. I was playing drums and I was singing the parts only because there was no singers. Nobody was singing. And the next thing you know, it was like, well, you can't go up and play drums and sing. That ain't cool. Especially back in 80 or like 91, 1990. Yeah. Mind you, don't put that year in there. Fuck. But so anyway, that's what happened there. I don't even want to go into that. Yeah, it's embarrassing as shit. It sucked. But it was also good because now I realize I'll always be behind a drum set for the rest of my life. That was scary. Chuck and I ended up moving into a house with my older brother in Aurora, Ontario, Canada. And it was excellent because it was in the middle of nowhere. It had a basement, like a really nice room in the basement that was perfect for setting up gear. And Chuck and I were playing in a band called Pocket at the time, which is like a heavy, you know, kind of like Alice in Chains, Soundgarden type band. Dave at this time didn't drink, nothing. Like that was it, like Mr. Clean.
And when we started out, the funny thing is Dave didn't know how to play anything but his whammy bar. So he would come in and whack his whammy bar around, and Grant and I actually did a gig without him.
I tried to start playing guitar till the guys kicked me out of the band because I was so crap.
Dave practiced his ass off, I think, as a result of that.
Thanks, Chuck and Grant. But I show you guys now. Let's cut to the practicing I did when I was all fat. I went to GIT in California. I mean, I spent every 2 seconds like playing guitar, and you can probably tell by the size of my body that's all I did because I just sat and ate and played guitar. But I mean, I got real damn good at it, I think.
He went completely over the top and got so fast and so ridiculous. He was playing nonsensical computer fast music.
I watch now, I can't even play like a quarter of that, like that speed anymore.
Dave came back from GIT where he was studying guitar, and Dave Sommerfeld was, I don't know, he just came back and we all started jamming for fun. And we were like losing our minds. It's the first time on our own really, and we had our own house. We could do whatever we wanted. So we'd have these parties. There'd be a ton of people, and we'd just jam in the basement. We had everything set up. And so we started jamming, fucking around, and it was so much fun. It was just kind of like, we should do something with this because, I don't know, it was like being kids again. We were having a blast, and it was just fun to play something other than metal. And when we started off, it was completely different than anything that we're doing now.
Oh, you know what? We also played in a cover band for years. Like 8 years, we played in a band called Nacho Mama, and it was a disaster. We did it just for the sake of playing. We learned how to play, and we got to gig every single weekend, but we would play for people who had no clue what the heck we were doing.
There we go. There we go.
People would dance. People would dance. Oh, yes, they would dance. Dave would hide behind his hoodies and his piercings. And
And it's a fucking glue in the dark fucking.
I would hide in the dark, and our singer would sit on the ground and sing. Oh man, we were horrible, man. We were a piece of shit.
Name of the band, Camp Isaac. He would sit there, I'm gonna tell it. He'd sit in the front, like in the front room, and he'd have a popcorn bowl, and every time somebody came in, he'd be like, "Give me your weed, give me your hash." And they'd walk in and have to take out a piece of weed or a piece of hash and throw it in the bowl. And he would sit there all night just rolling salads. bit of hash, bit of weed, just mixed up with everybody. And I remember he came down rehearsing one night, and we used to have a red floodlight. And every time the joint was out, we'd just say, "The red light is on!" And anybody that knew what that meant would come downstairs to smoke whatever joints we had. And so anyway, we're down there smoking joints, we're stoned out of our minds, we're laughing our heads off. And he said, "Wouldn't it be funny if you guys got together again and started a band and called it the Salads?" Like as a joke. And we're like, "Yeah, like we're gonna start a band, call it the Salads. It's the stupidest name I've ever heard in my life." Not to mention, how do you explain to your parents? "Oh, it's about drugs." So.
Ladies and gentlemen!
First shows were great. I mean, when we started off, it was completely different, but it was just, like, for us, it was just fun. Like, I went from being in, like, a metal glam rock band to playing just fun songs that were a little bit, more lighthearted.
First thing we put out was a tape with a picture of a homie guy shooting a gun on the cover. And that went into a few stores in Newmarket, but that wasn't long lasting because we ended up putting out Meanwhile, which we worked on for about a year and a half. And we just wrote a whole bunch of songs in the studio together for fun, including songs that we wrote when we were little kids. And then Davey Sommerfeld went to teachers college shortly thereafter and is now a professional school teacher. Mike Kerwin played percussion in the Salads for many years, and man, he was amazing. He was this long-haired, Jesus-looking guy with a big beard, but with big, thick glasses, and he would destroy his percussion set at the shows.
Take it easy, Mike. Give that man a cigar.
Yeah, buddy. I sang a lot when I was a kid. Mom would get you to sing Christmas carols and whatever.
And when we were told he would not stop, so Santa said, ho, ho.
I was coming from a small town, moving into the big city, into Toronto from Stratford, Ontario. Props to the St. Rats peeps. St. Rats, yeah. I was into rap and stuff in a small town where it was like maybe a half dozen of us, if that were into that sort of stuff. When I moved to Toronto, one of the first bands I really got into was a band called Bad Blood. And they were working with the Salads at the time, doing a couple shows, and I went to a Bad Blood show at the El Macombo in Toronto, and there was the Salads doing their funky white boy thing, and I'm like, hey, I'm doing a funky white boy thing too. I was in a band called Chronic. We were kind of a jam band for about a year. There's no video footage of that, thank God. Or if it is out there, it ain't making it on the DVD. My band wasn't all that serious, and one of the guys went traveling, so we broke up, and the Salads were losing their bass player and wondering what to do, and they needed a lead singer. And they dug what I was doing, I guess, with the Chronic stuff, and asked me to join, and I couldn't really refuse.
That was my idea. Again, I'd like to say that. I'd like to put that out there.
We'd put together a weed show with all weed band names, where it was Big Fatty, Chronic, and the Salads. The Salads is when you mix up a bunch of weed. And so it was a big weed theme party, and Darren's band played.
We were talking about getting a new singer forever. And it was almost like as I was sitting there going, that's the guy we gotta get. Chuck sits down beside us, and he's like, hey, what do you think of this singer?
Oh, wow. And no word of a lie, everybody looked at each other and like, that guy, man, let's get that singer, right? And it's like, yeah, let's get him. It
turned out when I had him on the phone one day that he had finished playing with Chronic, so I asked him if he wanted to play with the band, and that's what we did. We just clicked, musically and personality-wise, and yeah, it was cool. I was just digging what they were doing. They were doing some cool shit, man.
And then he came out, and he sucked the first time we jammed, and we were like, what are we thinking? And then Dave was like, but he looks good. I had phone sex with him, and I have this image in my mind. It's burned in there, and it worked out really well.
I was still trying to find my place, really. I mean, there's a lot of old footage of us where I'm wearing this like fun fur hat, and I go out to Kensington Market and try to find some new outfits and stuff, and it was all about this like pimp kind of style-y that was going on with me. I'm so glad I shook that shit. Oh, fuck. First stuff that we really started to write and record together was the EP, the Who's That EP that we put out.
Check it out. I'm that cat, see you walking down the street, headphones on, bumping through the beat.
And we made a record pretty quick where we just recorded 7 tunes.
Those were like the first songs that I really wrote with the band as soon as I joined the group, and they're all over the place. Like, tunes are all over the place. There's like metal tunes,
funk tunes and ska tunes and finding ourselves tunes.
We're just trying to like blend all our influences and find a median, you know?
And there's 2 versions of that record if you're lucky enough to find it. There's a version that's just us on instruments playing pretty much live and doing the record, and then there's a version where we actually incorporated drum machines into a couple different tunes and tried to make them radio friendly, and then scored a Sleeman's thing after that, which helped pay for some of that, like a Sleeman's advertisement. Who's That Cat? It was a very, very hot day. We spent the whole day outside, and it was our first experience making the video. John Choi is an amazing photographer, though. He really is. And there's some shots in that video of ladybugs flying off of the little kid. And the first time I saw the video, it really floored me, and I was happy with it. But as we made more videos, we realized, you know, what our videos probably should be. We really like to perform in our videos, so that's what we do from now on.
Recording A Full Day to Beat was awesome, man. It was the first really strong songs that we came out with, I feel. This time we go around, I hope you'll be in town. Everyone is around, gotta better get down. Working with Dan Broadbeck and Siggy at EMAC in London was just awesome.
How's it going, Master Siggy?
Fuck you. We just clicked there. It was just so cool. Everything fell together so smoothly. The biggest tune off Full Day to Beat, Get Loose, is a perfect example. It was the first tune that really came together for the album that we wrote, and it was just slipped right together. Literally, it was awesome.
We had always tried to do the really unpredictable thing, and then we switched over and said, let's do all the chord changes we've never done before. And so we did all the chord changes you hear a lot, and we started thinking, man, these are better songs. You know, these are just better songs. Why did we avoid this in order to be cool when it wasn't even cool, you know? We used to always just do it for ourselves. This time we did it for other people. We were thinking about other people as we're writing the music, and we're thinking, well, you know, what do they like to listen to? Or, you know, I like to listen to that too. Why aren't I playing that, right? So it hit a lot more people, and so that feels amazing.
Turn off the camera now! Get it off! Get it off!
Shooting the video for Get Loose was really cool because we got to work with the Choi brothers again, the Chinamen, they like to call themselves. By the time it was time to shoot Get Loose, it was really cool because they got to get to know us with the first video, and so there was more personality and more performance shown, and it was fun, man. It was just cool. It was cool to perform and do the whole green screen thing. That was all new to us. And
on?
What's the matter, man? What are you doing? What's the matter? There's no chicks. There's no beer. There's no food. Been here all day against a stupid green screen. Yeah, it was cool, man. And then again into going through with Roth Kung Fu with it, which was the same guys again.
The Roth Kung Fu was all performance, except this time we begged to have an audience. The director, Willie Choi, his wife happened to work for cheerleading troops, and so she was able to get the entire audience to be cheerleaders, and they were very typical. They were all really hot, and they were strong, and they were like really enthusiastic, and so the day was a blast. There's shots of Grant where he's completely soaked with water flying back and forth. It's like the money shot. Make sure you throw that shot in there because his girlfriend will, you know, give it to him that much harder.
Let's have them kick the shit out of each other. Unhappy was a really cool video as well. We got to finally shoot a video with Mark Riccadelli.
That's a pretty good shot.
A director in a wheelchair. What the hell are you gonna do? He's gonna hurt you too.
Our last director was kind of an asshole. I mean, the whole time he just yelled at us in a wheelchair.
Hey dude, shove me harder. It's funny because some people have actually asked us if we actually got hurt during the shooting of that video.
That's real. That's when I fell on the floor.
Grant, what happened?
It was me diving at Darren the first time, and I didn't have shoes on.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got a purple on his arm. War wounds.
And the answer is yes, me especially. Grant comes and tackles me from behind. He kind of tries to take me down, and then I think it's all a blur, man, but I fell down as he had his elbow up, and it got right into my ribs, so I fell flat down on his elbow. About 2 months of busted up ribs, so sore.
I could just grab her.
Thankfully, we had a fighting instructor and choreographer there.
Ready, and action. Really good.
Right back, right back, right back, back. Hair back, knee. Yeah.
We suck. Dave and I suck.
That was so much fun. It was cool, man, just to learn some extra shit as opposed to just going out and performing, and some makeup and extra stuff at the end and spitting blood. That was fun, man. That was cool.
Let's do it for us. Just
Touring sucks! It's the best thing in the world, actually. It sucks being in a van.
Yeah, that sucked, dude. That was like, that sucked too, man.
Different smells. On the road, you either smell somebody eating bad food, and then, or you smell the, you smell the excess baggage. It's everywhere. It's horrible.
Now we got a van I can whack off.
Driving is fun in its own way because we get to see everything.
Stay off the road! Get off the road! You drunk?
Silly moose. Silly moose. How's the dipstick, Davey?
Grant!
Dave does most of the driving. I drive sometimes, but I think the guys are scared of my driving, and Grant does a lot of driving. Darren does a lot of sleeping in the truck. He doesn't drive at all.
Fuck off, man.
Oh, you fuck.
Fuck off and stop pissing.
Canada is huge, man. Canada is where the salads are, and we love it, and the country has been so good to us.
Driving through the mountains out west is probably one of my most favorite spots. That's really cool, man. It's not only is it scary if you're not careful, because it is scary. The roads are really narrow going around the mountains and stuff, but there's some beautiful sights, man. The mountains and the snow there. And Grant jumping off big cliffs into snow that he has no idea how deep it is. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Look at that. He's up to his head in snow, man. That's fucking amazing, actually.
It's pretty fantastic. Super time for the visit, sleeping at the fan. Sweet dreams for the visit, sleep now if you can. There's been some cool times, man, like going to Jasper. It's a beautiful, beautiful place.
I hope next time you could be around when we come to town. I hope next time you could be around.
Flying is fantastic. Planes are better because A, they're quicker, and B, the notorious DAV early in the morning with the breakfast served there is fantastic because he's got creativity like you'd never seen before.
The food was so terrible, I made a little, sculpture out of the food in the plane.
He must have been hungover or something, and built like a little dude out of the utensils and this bun and the leftovers of his breakfast, and it was so fucking hilarious. And the stewardesses took this thing and started showing it to each other, and they're all excited and they're ringing each other.
Yeah, I am a good time.
That's so cute. I love it.
And they come running in like, what's going on? And then they're laughing their ass off once they see this little breakfast man that Dave's made, and he's dancing around his tray. And then they bring it up to the pilot to show him so he can take pictures.
And for some reason I guess they're really bored. They had they showed the entire plane.
You should send them into. Can you do that?
I think if you go to .com, you can see my little creation.
Come on, Chuck, show your ass. Oh! Definitely one of the funnest ones that we did. We were really lucky. The first big tour that we did was on a tour bus with a couple other Canadian bands. One now defunct called Clark Nova.
Clark Nova fucking rules. You gotta be here to believe it. You gotta see it live to understand.
And another band, I think they're still going, is Scratching Post.
We got a couple of beauties. Musicians. A rare breed, yet sometimes they cannot be destroyed. He wants to poke my eyes out.
That shit was crazy. Because we had tour buses on that, and all three bands were on one bus, sleeping in these bunk beds and stuff. Hotels are fun too when you get to stay in them, if they're nice. Oh man, Hotel stories.
Don't even ask me how they let me check in. Sometimes I usually do it. Most of the time I do it. Chuck usually does the talking. And I try to talk, but I just hand him a credit card and go, "Hey, So usually it's pretty good.
This place fucking sucks.
Show us a trick. Superstar. Reckon things? Maybe. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. You'll never know, even if there's footage on this tape. Oh my God.
Yeah, man, let's party! I think the big problem is people, when you roll into a town, they think that the band is a rolling party on wheels, right?
Oh no. Oh no. That's great, guys.
Don't ask me why, but we get a bottle of Jack Daniels and Jägermeister and usually, I guess, 24 beers a night. 38 beers.
Hey!
Yeah, man, this is how we spend our vacation. Wow.
Sorry, that's not good.
It's not my fault. It's the beer that causes all the the shenanigans.
Not my fault.
It's not my fault, man. Actually, I gotta shit though. Hold on.
Oh no.
Other than that, though, no, it's pretty good stuff. I mean, you can see from the video, it's not. We don't harm anybody. Oh, dude, we're gonna cut to this. Watch this, people at home. So we get down to the lobby, and these two guys are, are flying high, like Ozzy, and they're like, "Oh man, this dude's passed it upstairs, man." So we walk upstairs. But anyways, he's sleeping on there, and I give him the little what do you call it? The fly eyes or the tea bag or the little nut sack and the rat. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And sometimes this is awful to say. The only way to cure like the morning blues or that is have a beer. I mean, we go for breakfast and they'd have orange juice and I drink 2 beers, right? It's just like, and they're like, "Are you demented?" By the end of the day, we're all completely fried, and then top it off by a 10-hour drive and not sleeping and not eating right and drinking way too much. You'll see that from all the barfing I do on the video.
You alright, Davey?
And shoving remote controls up my ass.
Change your channel, Dave. Change the fucking channel. Check it out, dude. Check it out.
And so it's fun. I mean, but the fun part is 45 minutes of your day, and then people think, "Oh, you're in a band. That's got to be fun." But the other 23 hours are pretty they're fun. We have good times, but I mean, it's tough. I mean, there's no, don't get me wrong. I mean, you try it.
The band has been together for such a long time, and only of recent have we started playing for massive audiences.
You know what? We played in front of so many people in Regina the first time. Cut to that clip. But it's kind of hard not to have a good time when you go out and play in front of like 3,000 to 5,000 kids.
But we did a couple shows out west where the crowd is going completely insane, and it was like Beatlemania, so that was really fun.
Touring around and playing in front of people is the best thing in the world. We got to tour with Fishbone. Touring with Fishbone ruled. We got to play with them 9 days in a row. The best show I saw Fishbone put on was in front of nobody in a huge bar. So I think for all of us, I know me, it was insane. Because every show that went on, it was just kind of like you picked it up a notch.
Last summer, the summer of 2003, we played at one of the Warped Tour dates in Barrie, in Ontario, and it was pouring rain all day. And then, as soon as we came out on stage, the sun broke out, which was like this weird message from the rock gods up above or something, or rather, it was strange. And the kids just all lost their minds. I hope we really put the whole version of Get Loose, in particular, on the DVD. If this is on there, go straight to it right now, because this is gold. There's a part in that even where, like, I run up to the front of the stage and see the crowd, like, singing along to Get Loose, and turn around and look at Dave, and he's looking at me, like, with this enormous grin on his face, like, yeah, they're singing along. We're just telepathically speaking this to each other, not really. We're just looking at each other. I'm like, I know, this is so wicked. Come on, everybody, keep going, man. So money. That was so fucking fun. Wasn't it, Dave? There was a mystery man in the band who, funny enough, isn't with the Salads anymore. You don't really see him performing live, but he did for about 3 years or so, I think, give or take. And he goes by the name of Libido. I brought Libido into the group about a year after I joined. I found Libido with this group called Back to Basics. Then he performed with a group called Bag of Tricks, and I think he still does. He does so much stuff now, but he's in all our videos and performed live with us for a while, so you'll see a lot. You will have seen a lot of Libido. If you want to see more Libido, he's doing so much stuff, man. I think he's been in like 2 or 3 Chaos videos. He's been in a Pocket Dwellers video, and he's still doing lots of stuff. And we love him to death. He's a good boy. And that's the mystery of Libido.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm Chuck. Chuck Bobuck. We love that guy. Chuck's the daddy of the band now. And is originally and still is a guitar player, and picked up the bass around the time that I joined the group, I think, and rips on it still. And Chuck's kind of the keeps us all together, kind of like the centerpiece and the guy who can speak proper English the day after the show.
Fucking they made money for a little boy.
Chuck, I mean, it's pretty funny. Like, when I met him in public school, he played guitar, and he was like always like a step ahead, and it was like, son of a bitch!
Yeah, if I was gonna talk about Dave, I'd say that Dave just does everything in excess. Like, he drinks too much, if he's drinking. If he eats too much. If he plays guitar, he plays too much. It's ridiculous. He does everything to like a full extreme. If he's masturbating, wow, that's gotta be pretty incredible. Yeah, he's got a scab on his cock. Darren's more of a performer for sure. He always seems like he's more part of the crowd than being this removed show. You know, he seemed like he was really in there with the audience. Darren loves the weed, Darren loves the kids, and Darren loves the women. And that's what he loves.
What is he, running for president? Darren loves the weed, he loves the kids, and he will set your Congress straight in 99. Even though it's 2004. Grant. Nut bar, drum extraordinaire, crazy motherfucker.
Grant's just always been a rocker, man, from like high rock kicks to mullets to stick spinning to, oh man, he started the whole band. he wanted to be a rock star.
Porn shops.
Porn.
Gotta get some porn.
See you guys.
Oh, yeah,